So I don't know whether you know about the binary fission. So basically, what it means is, okay, so the bacteria, initially this is the size of bacteria, okay, and after a few moments, it depends on the type of bacteria, it will get elongated, okay? And then you will see it starts to wants to break into two, okay, and then eventually you will be producing two kind of bacteria. This is what we call as binary fission. Okay, so like this, they don't get married, okay, to reproduce themselves, but just from one cell it will develop into two cells, and eventually this one will be divided into another two cells and two cells. Okay, so that's how it produce themselves. Okay, so it depends. It will double themselves within 15 to 30 minutes in suitable condition. What do we mean by suitable condition? If you have enough food, if you get enough oxygen, then certainly they will reproduce themselves within this period of time. So how do you classify the bacteria? It depends on the energy and carbon source. Heterotrophic bacteria is whereby the bacteria are using organic as a carbon and also their energy source. Remember, in wastewater treatment plant, there are so many organics. So they eat all the organics, okay, with their heart to obtain as their energy, and as a carbon mean basically how they synthesize themselves, okay. So they're using this organic, so they are called as heterotrophic bacteria. But if they don't use organic, they are using inorganic to get energy and also to reproduce themselves, okay, that we call it as autotroph or autotrophic bacteria. So if you look at my example just now, you see certain microorganisms or certain bacteria are using organic to produce carbon dioxide and new cells here for their oxygen, for their energy, and also for their carbon. So we call this microorganism to be heterotrophic bacteria. But certain microorganisms, they don't use inorganic. They can use nitrate, for instance, or nitrite. So they use all these inorganic methods to obtain their energy and their carbon source. So this kind of bacteria or this kind of microorganism is called as autotrophic bacteria. So another way of classifying bacteria is through their usage of oxygen. Okay, aerobic bacteria, they are using dissolved oxygen directly. But for the anaerobic bacteria, they are using oxygen. They still need oxygen to survive. Okay, any living things need oxygen to survive. So they don't take it from dissolved oxygen, but they will take it from compound like this, like nitrate and sulfate. Okay, they will take out the oxygen from these things to get their own oxygen. So they are called as anaerobic bacteria. And for the facultative bacteria, these are a special kind of bacteria. They can be aerobic and they can also be anaerobic. So if there is abundance of dissolved oxygen, they will use dissolved oxygen. But once the dissolved oxygen is gone, then they will take anything, any inorganic that contain oxygen, okay, and they will take this oxygen to breathe again and to get their oxygen content. And that's why they call facultative, because they can be aerobic and they can be anaerobic. So that's what facultative means. They are able to survive in both conditions. Okay, disease that caused by bacteria, like typhoid fever, okay, or in Malay we call it as demam kapialu, cholera, or in Malay we call it as taun, and jaundice fever, leptospira. It's also called as wheel disease, okay. The acute severe form of leptospirosis causes an infected individual to become jaundice, okay? Kuning, penyakit kuning. Skin and eyes become yellow, develop kidney failure, and bleeding. Okay? Bleeding from the lungs associated with leptospirosis is known as a severe pulmonary hemorrhage syndrome. This is very dangerous disease because of that bacteria. Okay, people drink the water and they will probably get leptospirosis.